Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Talladega Super Speedway here in Talladega, Alabama. 2.66 mile oval, and this big track, 33 degrees of banking. This one, you're in for a wild one here, folks. We've seen many incidents here at the past and many championship-changing events. The last wild card on the season here, the CMR Roofing 200, race number 12 of 14 here in season number 6 of the NSDCA Mountain Dew Custom Series. 35 cars are lined up here on the backstretch. Normally, obviously, you're used to seeing them lined up on pit road, but there was a big fuel spill with some cars getting up to the grid, so they had to clean that up. I mean, hopefully these cars won't be using pit road, no pit stops unless they have damage, so hopefully that can get all cleaned up and we can get racing here. So let's take a look here at your field of 35. Starting on the pole is Jeffrey Finguy, and coming into today, he needs a big result here. He's 25 back on teammate and points leader Anderson Reed. Obviously, Finguy got that win early at the season at the other super speedway on the schedule in the Valvoline 200. So if he can go back-to-back here, that would be big for the Michigan native. To his outside is a driver who's fighting for the championship as well, Zach Rogers, second in the point standings, 13 behind Reed. So Reed is 13 over Rogers and 25 over Finguy. It is tight here up at the front, especially if Reed has a poor day today, because if Reed has a good day, he could possibly put together a race lead points, at least from third on back, and maybe even Rogers if stuff gets extremely crazy, but we'll just have to wait and see. Rogers and teammate Colton Yo, who are starting behind Rogers there in third, they had a pretty good practice session, I believe. Practice session, it's just guys running out there with draft laps. Some not getting draft laps, trying to see how they do single car, especially for single car qualifying. But it seems like a lot of the stronger equipped cars are the ones up here at the front. But Yo, having an okay season. He's really rebounded these past few weeks, finally into the top 10 of the standings. Patrick Smith, 6th in the point standings, 4th on the grid here today. He's 48 back, over a race back, down in 6th, looking for big things here today with the CFRO team. Brad Stover, I don't think he's really in it for the championship. Over 100 points back down there in 17th. Same with Kev Shearer, 16th. One spot ahead of him in the point standings and one spot ahead of him on the grid. Kev is 101 points back. And Kev obviously had the pole position at Daytona, I believe, and was up there fighting with Finguy. So we'll have to see if the 83 and the SBR plate program, world famous, how they can do today. Daniel Kobza starting in P8. He's 26 points back, so only 1 point behind Jeffrey Finguy. Very tight there for third, but both of them want to chase down Reed and Rogers for the points lead. Cobbs has been inconsistent this year. Had a wreck at the Super Speedway at Daytona, had damage. I think he got a top 20. Other than that, 3 wins on the season, but only 5 top 10s. So have to see how he can do, if he can find some consistency here late in the season. Kyle Corbett to the inside. Corbett's trying to rebound after some tough races this year. 14th in the point standings, trying to see what he can do. Last time out at South Boston, he started on the pole. Rounding out the top 10 will be the 94 of Emmons, Preston Emmons here, having a terrible year, still down 25th in the point standings, looking to try and turn that around today with a good result. And Vince Freeze to the outside. Freeze was fringe fighting for a title this season, but doesn't look like he can get it done. He's 70 points back coming into today. That might be too big of a margin to accomplish. 11th, Alex Fletcher. Fletcher 7th in the point standings, 51 back. Slowly but surely coming off of a win at South Boston, trying to sneak his way back up into the title picture. We also want to take a look here. Scott Roush, still having to make the field from go or go home qualifying. Home track led here last year, could be a threat, but we need to look back just a few more spots back there. P number 20, a poor qualifying compared to his teammate on the pole. Anderson Reed must have made a mistake on his lap or something, or they had the wrong setup on the car, because Reed down here in 20th, right in the hornet's nest for all the action and all the racing. We'll have to see if there are going to be incidents or not today. James Ellison, last year's winner of this event, starting down here in 23rd. Ellison's 21st. Jacob Rose, 24th here in the number 17. Rose still top 5 in the point standings, 44 back. That is just over a race back. Needs a good run today. Further on back, Austin Johnson, 15th in the point standings, in and out. Could not race last time out at South Boston due to a one race suspension due to repeated incidents over multiple NSDCA series, but back here today in the 54, and William Duncan having a poor qualifying run in 31st. Let's get the field of 35 fired up here. 22 laps of action away as to Talladega. Let's go to your command.
Drivers, start your engines.
The cars roar to life. You remember last season here, we had a big wreck off of turn number 2 that involved championship leader Colton Lane, set him back, really mixed up the order. It was Antoine Smith in that 39, almost getting by James Ellison to win the race, but Ellison hung on. So Reed, a lot of pressure coming to the points that doesn't want to repeat what Colton Lane did, but also wants to do one spot better than Antoine did last season and try and bring home the victory. Reed only has one win this season at I-69. But boy, oh boy, we're going to have some big racing in store for us here today on these high banks of Talladega. The fans are passionate down here, and they want to see some action. If they want to see wrecks, I'm sure some of them do. I know most of us here don't. So we're going to see some exciting racing. That's what we're all here for. What kind of drama does Talladega bring? One of the final races of this season, the push for the championship. It's a long way down. The start-finish line placed after the tri-oval near pit exit. Here we go. Finn Guy and Rogers leading them down to see the green here in the CMR Roofing 200. We are underway in race 12. Gonna be a long while for these cars to creep up to speed. They're gonna be going pretty fast around here, probably about 52-second lap times. Obviously slower than the Cup and Truck Series programs, but these cars are a little bit older bodies, don't need to be going that fast anyways. But here we go, fanning out toward 3 wide here in the middle of the pack. Emmons thinking about 4 wide possibly early. That's going to be a big move there from Preston Emmons, showing the aggression. Cobbs is going to back out, and they're going to work it back down to 3. Talladega is wide enough. Daytona, it gets a little sketchy when they're 3 wide, but here you only have to worry when it's 4 wide, and that's when it gets dangerous. This track is wide enough for 3, and Preston Emmons is aggressive here early as Finn Guy tries to take the lead away. Emmons is on the charge on the bottom, really trying to work this field. Shearer and Patrick Smith getting real tight. Corbett and Scott Roush real tight. They are going crazy here early on at Talladega. Vince Freeze caught the wall. Vince Freeze is in the wall. We're going to watch that to see if he can get down okay. Looks like he does. Going to be some side damage there on the 27. 95, Nathan Stapleton trying to hold down the draft. But Preston Emmons, man on a mission currently. He has a deal lined up for next season, and I believe with... goodness, I'm drawing a blank. I believe it is a Crown Royal Truck Series team or a part-time... excuse me, Mountain Dew Custom Series team that he has a deal lined up with, but he's going to be caught in the middle right down the sucker hole because Alex Fletcher and Patrick Smith branching out underneath. Finn Guy still in the race lead, leads lap 2. And Finn Guy, he can work the top pretty well. He can get some big runs, but if the inside charges back like Alex Fletcher just did, you're going to be hung out to dry. Pack starting to split up just a little bit now as some of the faster cars push to the front. Look at the back. Stapleton still trying to hang on. That's a 35. I believe that is, no, that is Logan Cloud this week in the 35. Mike Cook stuck back here. Vince Freeze dropping back with Bobo Jones. Freeze, like you said, caught the wall. Has some damage. Anderson Reed stuck here still in the mid-pack, trying to play this race simply. Possibly, if there's a wreck up ahead, he might be back here in enough time to avoid it. And possibly trying to make that late race charge to push up to the front and get it that way. But Patrick Smith has taken the race lead. He leads this time by at the line. Scott Roush making up ground here in that ITEC camp, trying to push down, trying to get down to the inside right in front of his Toyota teammate Kev Shear. Can't quite do it. Works himself back up to the middle. I'm honestly a bit surprised. I don't recall if we saw the split pack action this year, but we got about the top 11 or 12, I'd say, up here. Christian Vargas trying to tail these guys, but it's James Ellison leading the second pack, which Zach Rogers has slipped into. These packs are both full of pretty strong cars. You have to get down to somebody like Luke Evans here and Roger Ray maybe for some of these cars with weaker equipment, but other than that, all these guys back here are pretty strong until you get to about here where Noah Hart's running, the 8 of Archibald Buttersworth as well as the field charges past the start-finish line. It's Daniel Kobza out front. But Austin Johnson seems like another car that's holding back right now. Mike Cook is down pit road. He has some suspension damage. That's tough for Mike Cook, but Brad Stover in the 87 looking for the race lead. I don't think he has a ride lined up for next season, so this is big. No, he does. He's going to be moving to Rockstar Energy Racing next season. That's right. My mind slipped there a little bit. But Brad Stover trying to show it off and get Zachary Racing 2 in a row here at Talladega in the MDCS. Passing Kev Shearer with no problem. And now you see it. I think we're going to see this back and forth with some packs formed up and the packs split up. That's might be the kind of racing we see this season. The package not too much different from what we saw last year here at Talladega. Christian Vargas needed a good run. He's down to 24th in the point standings as he's going to put 4 wide by Patrick Smith. That's a risky move by the 97. Vargas needing a good run. Thought about it. Oh, Kev Shearer's going to catch the wall. That's going to kill that outside line momentum. Vargas needing that good run. Stuck in the middle. Zach Rogers is going. He knows he's got a championship to fight for. He's thinking about 4 wide here. Coming into turn 3. That's going to be tight. Patrick Smith leaning on Christian Vargas again. Patrick Smith seems to find himself in the worst positions possible, but that veteran car control out of the driver from Canada in that 97 is paying dividends for not only himself, but the whole field. And oh, they're going to get dicey. One car's got issues. It's Stover, a massive fuel system issue. He's going to cut down to Casey Mears, who's going to clean him out, and the caution's out. There's nowhere to go. Noah Hart slams into the wounded 87, and these guys got all mixed up because Brad Stover had an issue and held up the entire field, and that is going to stack up the entire pack. Looks like most of the field crossed the line before the caution came out. Top 5 might be racing back. Yes, they are. It's going to be Mikey Yamakaze in the race lead. Zach Rogers trying to get under Priya McShane for second. And look at this. Anderson Reed is up into the top 5. So as these drivers crawl around, that's going to be heartbreaking for Brad Stover, having a big run, but having a part issue, a mechanical failure right in front of the whole field, checking everybody up and sending everybody into a frenzy, trying to get down, but Casey Mears, nowhere to go, sent the 87 off, and he must have been leaking some fluid because it seemed like the 03 and the 13 went around as well. Yeah, Noah Hart's going to be done. Matthew Ease is in the 13 this week, trying to ride around Casey Mears. I'm not sure how much damage those cars have. Stapleton, Roger Ray, some of these drivers are going to get back into the pack as well. So an early incident shakes everything up here at Talladega. Get back to you here after some replays. So coming around, Brad Stover fighting for the race lead. The fuel pressure gauge suddenly drops and he loses all power in that race car. Holding up the outside lines, trying to get down, trying to find a gap. Thinks he does, but Casey Mears does not lift and sends the 17 spinning. Oh, it looks like John Dilks and Kev Shearer collided. That's why Eves went around, but Noah Hart slams into the 87, ending both of their days. Taking a look back here to Hart himself in the 03. Monster Motorsports having some financial troubles possibly in the garage area. And he just, oh yeah, they all panicked just trying to get possibly by one another. And it seems like Hart just lost it, probably from the fuel that Stover had put down, and just slammed into the 87. A hard hit. Both drivers are okay because it did happen at low speeds, thankfully, for a track like Talladega. But not what Monster Motorsports wants to see, or Hart. Out the back bumper of Brad Stover's Ford Fusion as it all goes wrong. See, the car basically shuts off. He tried to cut down because he was coasting. It's just the 66 was there. He had no clue. But whoa, William Duncan nearly got a big piece of the 87, but seemed to be okay. get back to the restart. Welcome back, folks, to the Talladega Super Speedway here in Talladega, Alabama. Freedom McShane just up in third, has an engine let go. I can't even count the engines McShane has lost this season or issues that she has had, because it has been a ton for that number 2 team in Rockstar Energy Racing. Not what they want to see. It's going to be a long, slow crawl down for that 2 car down pit road. We should be getting back going here in a lap or two from Talladega. Yamakasi out here in front of Zach Rogers. Did the lights go out on the pace car this time? Yes, they do, so we will stay with you for the restart. Zach Rogers definitely wants to be up here in second, but he does not want Anderson Reed to be right there behind him in third. Ellison in fourth, trying to see what he can do now that his teammate is out. Got to be a little worried in that 53 camp if there are any issues, the same fuel system issues that his teammate Stover had. Some other drivers up here in the top 10 that we can look at. Cordell Smith having a good run. Cordell's down in 19th in the point standings. Not been the season I think a lot of people expected from Cordell. With TRD going down to 2 teams and the engine goes again. Seems like the Crown Royal Truck Series race from last season. Austin Delgado. Reed's leaving Alonjado at the end of the season. Definitely doesn't drive for them in the NSDCA anymore. But yeah, Delgado just had an engine go. So Kobza, where's Kobza in all this? 2 spots. Driver 2 spots behind him. Your teammate 2 spots behind you just had an engine go under caution of all things. I don't understand the cars blowing up under caution, but that one's going to be beyond me as a commentator, but your Kobza, you're just as worried as Ellison's got to be right now if that engine's going to blow. Finn guy down here in the midfield as well. Around 15th. Or, okay, 12th and 13th. Or 12th and 13th. Austin Johnson from his poor qualifying spots made up some ground. Shearer slipped back. Eves is doing relatively okay. Duncan hasn't made up a ton, but it's still early. We got half the race left. Rose hasn't made up much ground either. And yeah, that's where we stand. 42 should get off the track A-okay. And it'll be Mikey Yamakaze leading them down for Butcher Gatorade Motorsports. Here we go. Looks like he's leaning a little bit to the inside there as they go green. Anderson Reed all the way up on the wall. I don't know why he'd be going that high, especially at a track where early you're going to want to stay in the draft and get speed. He's going to be hung out to dry. I don't know if he was hoping that Colton Yo or somebody would have gone with him, but they're not going with him. And Rogers is going to the inside for the lead and possibly some bonus points. Here we go down the backstretch. Let's see how they form up. Ellison doesn't want to go with Rogers, and clearly Yo doesn't want to help his teammate. He's going for the race lead himself in the 48. They come 3 by 3 at the front. It's going to be Colton Yo leading, Cordell Smith second, and we'll have to see if Patrick Smith can clear Ellison or not, or those top sides have a big surge. Looks like Cordell is going to move up to block that middle lane off. And Colton Yo is going to lead them down here at the line. The pack looks smaller. We've had a few cars. We had 5 cars drop out, but it sure doesn't look like a field of 30 out there, probably because they're all single file. We're going to have a big field forming up here, though, as they slice down 3 wide for second behind Colton Yo. He's going to have a big run, running a little bit higher on the high side. Get a big run there on the top into 3. Can he cut down in front of Ellison and Patrick Smith? I don't think he will. Ellison is going to try and cut down in front of Smith. Can't quite do it. He will, though, into the corner. Smith gives up the position, and here comes Ellison to the point. The familiar sight for James Ellison here at Talladega, leading this thing. He led them home last time out. Can he do it again this season? He's trying to. CMR stepped up. Not only is Ellison's title sponsor this season, but as the title sponsor of this race. So that would be big if they could put it together. But Patrick Smith says, I let you by one time. I won't do that again. Here comes Smith to the inside. 3 wide for the race lead as Kev Shear looks like he may have gotten the wall a little bit, but gets down off of it quicker than he did last time. He may have been right up there. I'm not exactly sure. But Daniel Kobza wants a championship. Nearly throws it 4 wide, but Ellison lifts off, preventing disaster. Here comes Kobza to the bottom with Finn Guy pushing. They both need these points on Reed and Rogers, who are both stuck up on the third lane. But Rogers trying to get down to the middle there. You see on the inside of Cordell Smith. Possibly to the low line if Scott Roush lets him in. But boy, nobody can get by Colton Yo. Working on the top side, drafting with Vince Freeze. He barely gets in front of Patrick Smith and is going to lead another lap in this one. Logging laps, this thing nearing its conclusion. These races in the MDCS are short. Here comes Cobbs, a huge run on the bottom. Here he comes in the Hot Wheels. Those wheels are hot. He takes the race lead, but Finn Guy won't let him have it for long. They both want that precious bonus point. Here comes Jeffrey Finn Guy on the bottom. Does he have anything? He really doesn't have a ton of help. Coming into turn 3. Does he have the spot? No, not quite. Maybe. Yes, he does. Freeze is going to go with him, abandoning the 48, cutting down now to the 79. Here we go. But Finn Guy drifts up just a little bit off the corner, trying to get that outside line momentum, and looks like he will. Jeffrey Finn Guy give him a lap lead, give him a point. Because I don't believe Anderson Reed or Zach Rogers led a lap, because Rogers got up there, and then suddenly it was Yamakasi leading them back. Or he may have. I'm not too sure. We weren't watching it. We were watching Brad Stover wreck. So Patrick Smith now up into the race lead, and Yamakasi is back up here now. He's got a Toyota behind him and Scott Roush. And this pack is packed up currently. Rows and rows of 3 wide action. They're a little bit disorganized. That makes me concerning. Somebody misjudges it like Casey Mears did. This whole pack could be wiped out, but Yamakasi, a big lead off the corner. He might get eaten up by the field here. CFRO trying to put Scott Roush into a sandwich. They won't do it. The Wiener Schnitzel will not go in between some bread. And now, here they come. Yamakasi still leading them by a good margin. Emmons back down here with Colton Yo pushing on the bottom. Kyle Corbett is going to let Daniel Kobza possibly down to the inside. That's not what Finn Guy wants, as Finn Guy is going to go backwards. But Anderson Reed might find the bottom, and that might be where he wants to cycle up in 5 laps time when this thing finishes. But Kobza doesn't know where he wants to go. His teammate next season, Alex Fletcher, wants the inside ahead of him. But look at this. Luke Evans, his first start at a super speedway. He's up here fighting toward the top 10. What a run for Luke Evans, the Brit. 4 wide. Oh, Colton Yo. Colton Yo almost set the 94 spinning. But so far, so good. Emmons is going to get down in time. I think they're 4 wide back here as well. They were, I want to say, with Roger Ray. They're 4 wide up here again. Emmons and Scott Roush, they're touching. There's contact at Talladega. Usually you'll see some bump driving, but you don't see door slamming at Talladega. Patrick Smith doing his best to keep it off the wall. He does. And Colton Yo, this aggression from Yo coming back out. Yo and Emmons have been so aggressive this race. And they're really mixing things up. And here they come. Can Yo get to the inside before Yamakasi can? Yamakasi working the middle. Looks like that's a little bit of momentum's going to help him. He slams the door on Colton Yo, keeping the race lead. As here we go. Cobbs and Finn Guy still right up here, fighting for the top 5. Rogers and Reed on the bottom, trying to make up what ground they can. It's going to be lap 19 of 22 at the line. The racing is intense at Talladega. We've got 2 packs forming. Let's take a look. Stapleton, Buttersworth, Cloud, Mears with some damage, and Austin Johnson stuck at the back. Boy, not the race Jacob Rose wants to have. That was their best shot at this, I feel. But look at this. It's a 2-car breakaway. Colton Yo and Mike Yamakasi. It's like a tango dance out here. 2 cars have just broken away from this entire field, and nobody had issues. I don't know how they did that. Wow. Something we rarely see in racing is this big breakaway at these plate tracks. Boy, if the teams could figure out in seasons to come, figure out how to do these breakaways. You see it a little bit at Daytona and some of the higher series, but if they can figure out how to do that, this could be a completely different form of plate racing. Rogers just forced 4 wide there on Vargas. Oh no! Vargas on the apron. Does he save it? Yes! Christian Vargas, possible save of the season. Nearly wiped out the entire field off the bumper of the 9. But what a move. What a piece of driving by Christian Fergus as the pack catches back up to the top 2. Here comes Preston Emmons with a huge head of steam coming down. Next time by, it'll be 2 to go at Talladega. Emmons looking to the inside. What run does Yamakaze have with Yo pushing behind him on the top side still? Nothing. Here comes Preston Emmons. Pack calming down a little bit, probably for a last lap charge. Rogers getting aggressive, pushing hard on that 57 of Luke Evans. Luke Evans, the big underdog up here. We got a lot of fans for the underdogs, and these plate tracks is where they can really shine, and it could shine today if Luke Evans can work his way up here. 2 more laps around Talladega as they are creeping here through turns 1 and 2. They seem slow. Tire wear might be going, but they got to work themselves to the advantage. Who's going to be your drafting partner? Who's going to get you up to the front? Who's going to win you the CMR 200? Here we go. 4 wide for the race lead if Alex Fletcher makes this move. Oh, Emmons and Yamakaze leaning on each other. This is tight. The vice is tight. Here we come. Fletcher going for broke, going for his 3rd win on the season. Here comes Alex Fletcher on the bottom, helped by fellow Pontiac Luke Evans. They're back down to 3 wide. Colton Yo backed out of it. Here they go. As I say that, Rogers doesn't want the underdog. He works underneath Luke Evans. He used Evans to get up here, pushes him high. Yamakaze leads. White flag at Talladega. Who's going to win this thing? The pack is tight. We've got 2 4 wides here. This could be dangerous. Fletcher still trying to work the bottom. Emmons and Yamakaze trying to work the top lines. Off the corner. Still 4 wide. Multiple rows. Corvette sorts it down. They're still tight up here. Alex Fletcher not giving up on the bottom. Here comes Rogers and Reed. That's not what Finguy and Cubs will want to see. They want to see those guys back in the pack. But they're right up here. 4 wide still again. Emmons. Preston Emmons trying to pull away from Mikey Yamakaze. Off the corner. Does Fletcher have anything? He's making a move, but I don't think he's got the help. Yamakaze, can he swing the top? He's swinging the top. Mikey Yamakaze, his 2nd win on the season. I think yes. Mikey Yamakaze wins a thriller at Talladega. Wow. A thriller at Talladega for Mikey Yamakaze. He gets it done for Butcher Gatorade Motorsports. His 2nd win on the season. He won Chicagoland. He wins here. And blowing up after the race. Oh boy, Jay Jefferson. Jay Jefferson is lucky that this race is not 23 laps, or there would have been heads rolling in the pits with the 9 car blowing up after the race. That won't count for damage because it is after the checkered flag, but Zach Rogers is lucky that he made that engine last. Jeffrey Finguy comes home 3rd. Daniel Cobbs comes home 5th. It's going to be little gains at a track they needed big ones, especially for Rogers. Rogers is only going to gain 1 or 2 points on Anderson Reed, coming home 9th compared to Reed in 10th. Preston Emmons 2nd. Preston Emmons had some incredible aggression in that race in the 94. Couldn't get it done. Was very, very close. Photo finish at Dega. Alex Fletcher 4th. A great run. Luke Evans in 6th. Luke Evans, I can't give enough props to that kid. He had some issues at Michigan. A lot of people weren't too happy with him. Especially Jay Jefferson. He got held up in the Michigan truck race. But he's done some networking. He's got himself into some rides, and boy, he just had a top 10 run in his 2nd Mountain Dew Custom Series start. Excuse me. Vince Freeze comes home 11th, a pretty good run, but his championship bid's basically over. Delgado championship bid is definitely done. Rose down in 20th. That's probably it for their championship run. It's going to be Jesse Turner coming out highest of the Ditech drivers in 15th. Patrick Smith, 14th. That's not going to help him any because he lost out to all the drivers ahead of him, the top 4. He gained on Rose, but I don't think that's really going to help Patrick Smith's hopes much. I think he's going to be down to the top 4 now for this title. Even if Finn got any Cobbs, still needs some more big runs. Ellison 13th. Let's see. Matthew Eves had some damage coming home top 20. That's pretty good. Duncan down to 25th. Just nowhere really today. They missed the ball. Kev Shearer fell down the order 23rd. And then, yeah, Delgado's championship's over. 69 points coming into the day. Needed some good luck. The Piston going on that 42 ended that chances. But Lucky Amikaze does his victory burnouts. Points are up on your screen. We've got 2 races left. The short track at Iowa, the Speedway at Kansas. Oh boy, folks. I was extremely happy with how that race went. Non-stop action. And just, what a finish. What a finish. We'll have to see how the Truck Series fares. We'll have to see how the Sundrop Cup Series fares. But thank you all for watching. Let's finish out Talladega. Let's finish out this season on a high note, folks. See you next time on the NSDCA.